My name's Wes Kitts, Team USA weightlifter and Tokyo Olympian, and I'm partnered with CrossFit RRG and NEXO to help you guys keep your gyms a little safer. We're gonna go over a few things that will help your athletes back squat safer, okay? So the first of those is gonna be how we spot a back squat, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have my friend Morgan demonstrate how you spot a back squat, okay? What's very important when you're spotting back squats is you don't let the bar or the athlete tip over to the front, okay? The bar's behind their neck. They cannot get smushed forward into a sandwich, okay? So the first thing we need to commit to is making sure the athlete knows we're not giving up on the squat, and the coach is gonna make sure the athlete stands all the way up after, okay? So what Morgan's gonna do is he's gonna stand right up on me in an athletic position with his hands under my arms close by, ready to hook me if I start to look stuck, okay? So what you do is you sit there, you watch closely, you make sure the athlete moves continuously. If they stop, you give them enough assistance to keep moving. If they get really tired, you grab them and you make sure they stand up, okay? That's what we wanna accomplish, is getting the athlete all the way to the top with the barbell on his back, okay? So Morgan's watched me unrack this. He's behind me. He might be providing some cues, okay? But look where his hands are. He's ready, okay? If I start my squat, he's right there with me the whole way. If I start to tip forward, he's gonna grab my chest and just give me a little bit of a tactile cue to keep me in position so I can squat safely, okay? That's important, is being ready, keeping your eyes on your athlete, and making sure they stay upright with their chest and they're able to push with their legs all the way through it. If you start to see the back arch, you start to see them shift out of position, tipping forward, you want to get to them, okay? You want to get to them and get them up before it gets bad. You don't want to allow them to fight through bad positions, because best case scenario, they're hurt at the end of that, okay? Worst case scenario, they get stuck and they're so far out of position, you can't scoop them up anymore. Now let's say for whatever reason, your athlete's doing their squat and they decide to give up on the squat and they're sinking back down into the position. What you have to do at that point is get the bar off their back onto the floor. Okay, we're not gonna demo that one because it's not particularly safe. We wanna save that for worst case scenarios, okay? But again, you just cannot let that bar pass through the athlete forward. It's behind their neck, it's on top of their spine. We can't have that. So if they give up on the squat, you have to get it off their back and behind them, out of the way, okay? So that's how we spot the back squat. One more thing, if you have very strong athletes, you're maybe an Olympic weightlifting coach, okay, and the weight on the barbell is not manageable for one spotter behind, what we'll do, we'll get Morgan and another friend and we'll put them on the sides of the bar. It's the same thing. They watch closely with their eyes, make sure the athlete is in good position, and if the athlete looks like they're not gonna be able to stay in position or stand up with the bar, they're gonna assist from the side. And that's by far the safest way to spot, because there's no way that the two lifters on the side can't get the bar to the top. So for your strong athletes, and if you have an extra coach or athlete available, that's by far the best way to do it. So another really significant way to keep your athletes safe is cueing them appropriately. Okay, so when you have your athletes back squatting, there's a certain way you want to tell them to approach the squat in order to keep them safe. What we want to do, like we talked about in the first part of the video, is have the athlete keep an upright chest. So as we're cueing this, we want to tell the athletes chest up as we squat. We want to keep our chest and eyes up and high as we sit straight down into our ankles, okay? There is another piece to this, balance on the foot, okay? So what we hear a lot is that you wanna just push back and squat in the heels. While it's true, we need our feet to stay flat as we squat, pushing our hips back behind our feet and all our weight in our heels is gonna give us that butt wink that we know is not good for backs, okay? So even though your athletes can squat super low and they're maybe not hurting the day after or the next day or even during, eventually that pattern is going to catch up to them. Okay, so what we want to do is tell the athletes to stay balanced on the foot and sit straight down into the bottom of our squat. Okay, instead of sitting back where our hips are going to tilt at the bottom. Okay, as to grass, right? Like we talk about, what we want to do is sit straight down into the ankles. Okay, so the other idea here is that we're not squatting to a depth, we're squatting into tension. So we're bracing our cores all the way around. That means we're squeezing our abs and tightening our backs, not just tight backs. Okay, we're bracing all the way around. We're sitting straight down into the ankles, and we're only going until we feel the tension stop us in the bottom of the squat. Okay, this is important because everybody can't put their butt on the ground. Okay, and realistically, it's not the strongest way to squat. We want to squeeze as tight as we can, go until we're tight. That's the bottom of our squat. Trying to achieve a lower squat than our body is loose enough for is only going to give us a bad pattern. Okay, so remember, when you're cueing your athletes, it's a tight core, it's balance on the foot over the ankle, and we squat to a tension, not to a depth. Last thing, I know it's not super cool, just clip your bars. Okay, no matter what you're doing, that clip does not weigh that much weight, and once you start stacking these plates on here, they start sliding easier and easier. So any misstep, any crooked walkout, any, especially in the weightlifting, like there's all sorts of movement that can cause your weights to shift. That's just going to cause pain, dysfunction, and bad accidents. Best case scenario, it's uncomfortable. Worst case scenario, your weights fall off and you launch a bar across the room at somebody. So take the time, clip these weights on. Okay, don't stack a bunch of 10s. Upgrade to the 45, just for your CrossFit coach's sake. Those weights, those 10s blow up, right? 45s are good and tough. So just do the not cool stuff. Keep it safe at your gym. Don't hurt your friends or your coach's feelings. And that's safe back squatting for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, thank you, CrossFit RRG, NEXO Insurance. Hope this is helpful.